My name is Precious Young. I would like to read something that was issued. An executive order on establishing the Black Council, issued on December 12, 2018 by Donald J. Trump, establishing the White House Opportunity and Revitalization Council. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered as follows. Section 1, Purpose. 52 million Americans live in economically distressed communities. Despite the growing national economy, these communities are plagued by high poverty levels, failing schools, and the scarcity of jobs. In December 2017, I signed into law a bill originally introduced as the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which established a historic new federal tax incentive that promotes long-term equity investments in low-income communities designated as qualified opportunity zones by the governors of states or territories. In order to further facilitate such investment, my administration will implement reforms that streamline existing regulations, protect taxpayers by optimizing use of federal resources, stimulate economic opportunity and mobility, encourage entrepreneurship, expand quality educational opportunities, develop and rehabilitate quality housing stock, promote workforce development, and promote safety and prevent crime in urban and economically distressed communities. This order establishes the White House Council to carry out the administration's plan to encourage public and private investment in urban and economically distressed areas, including qualified opportunity zones. The Council shall lead joint efforts across executive departments and agencies to engage with state, local, and tribal governments to find ways to better public funds to revitalize urban and economically distressed communities. So we want this order to be passed. Thank you.
Thank you. You got one more name here? Call up.
Yes, would Joseph Mason please come forward and staff will assist you?
Okay. Next speaker.
As the executive order started, read by my sister Precious, this is an order that was established December 12, 2018, where not a lot of people are talking about it. So before the government shut down, there was a place in order for White House federal dollars to go to our black neighborhoods. And the 16 members, along with this 5-letter signature that you're going to send concerning DPSS, we would like the state of California to come up with the 16 administrators, which is the Secretary of Treasurer, Attorney General, Secretary of Interior, Secretary of Agriculture, Commerce, Labor, Health and Human Services, Secretary of Transportation, Energy, Education, the Administrator of Environmental Protection Agency, the Director of Office of Management and Budget, the Administrator of Small Business Administration, the Assistant to the President for Economic Policy, the Chairman and the Council of Economic Advisors, and the Chairman of the Council of Environmental Quality. 16 people locally that we would like to establish so we can actually have a different governing body that's for the people. DPSS, a lot of the CalFresh benefits were shut down in South LA since June of last year. So a lot of the stores that used to carry EBT no longer did. But no one made a hoopla about it. All of a sudden they're saying the government shutdown is threatening our DPSS dollars. Well, no, ladies and gentlemen, it's been threatened long before by our local government. So I want you guys to be transparent when we're bashing a president that we understand nobody likes. The executive order signed on December 12th is on black and white paper for a council to be head for South LA to receive federal dollars. And it's up to you, local government, Maxine Waters, Mark Willie Thomas, Curran Price, Marquise Harris Dawson, and everybody else who's been watching us die to finally put an assembly together so we can get this money to our black neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Have we witnessed what hunger is about? Have we seen anyone in our community hungry? How does the EBT card work? Well, it provides you with a meal. Who provides you with that meal? Us, the hard-working taxpayers. And in turn, yes, thank you, Donald Trump, we need a shutdown. We need to correct the problems of particular individuals in this legislative horseshoe that have falsely accused you of starving the public. However, we're We're not starving the public, because you heard in the inauguration of our new governor, Mr. Mason, he found money. So are we in debt, or are we hiding public money? Like I said earlier in my public comment, to no
Pretty
offense,
interesting, isn't it, huh?
simply exercising First Amendment.
What are you going to do?
Money is evil, but money is great. Money provides you with food to eat and establish you housing, such as Section 8 or Measure HHH. Sounds like a riddle, sounds like a crime. No, it's a fact that I, in turn, have recognized of what's happening in our local entities' government. Mel Desire is right. You know how to fix the problem, but you sure hell don't want to fix the problem. EBT card is not the problem. It's how you plan to fund and regain those who made a statement that they are hungry and provide. That's the duty of the County Board of Supervisors, and all 5 of you are responsible for providing us with an EBT card if we're in need. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, Supervisors. Joe Maislich again. I appreciate your undertaking the position that you have in facing some of the highly stressful issues of our community. On the subject of this letter, I believe this letter contemplated, the one to the federal officials, is an opportunity. This problem of the shutdown, harming many people, and that's what happens when there is an examination of the cause of a problem situation. Behind the shutdown, of course, is the dispute with one party saying, well, yes, the other party saying, well, no, and neither of them looking to the background of what is driving the people to leave their homelands and whether U.S. policies that they, in their official capacities, have something to do with are contributing to that pressure. I'd like you to consider, please, adding to your letter a suggestion that the federal officials examine the sources of the pressures that cause and will continue to cause, no matter whether shutdown ends or doesn't end. Look at those causes specifically to see if there is any U.S. government policy contribution. I believe there is. It's pretty obvious. Lots of coups supported, things like that. But here's a chance to try to alert them to what is covered very little in the media, but which is a very profound human truth in all of this. Examine things and stop this from bouncing back and affecting the county in one way or another, either through entry of many desperate people who really want to live successfully at home, or through disruption of the services that then affect many, many more, like we're dealing with. This letter is an opportunity to ask for something that will carry us further than just this current impasse. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe those are all the speakers for this item.